Action Comics. Number 5. October 1938. Superman! Another astounding adventure of the strongest man on Earth. Telegraph lines broadcast to the world news of a terrible disaster. The Valleyho Dam is cracking under pressure from torrential rainfall. Should the dam collapse, an enormous wave will rush through the valley, threatening to kill thousands and ruin farmland. Meanwhile, in the office of the Daily Star, the editor urgently demands Clark Kent. Lois Lane informs the editor that Clark Kent isn't in the office. The editor, visibly agitated, tells her to find Kent and send him in immediately. Lois offers to take the assignment herself, but the editor refuses her request, insisting it's too important and no job for a girl. Offended, Lois privately fumes over the dismissal. Later, she meets Clark outside the office and says she has a favor to ask. Clark responds enthusiastically, and Lois assigns him to cover a story at the city hospital where a woman is expecting septuplets. Grateful, Clark thanks her and heads off to complete the task. Later, Lois discreetly buys a round-trip ticket to Valleyho. Meanwhile, at the city hospital, Clark Kent is told that no one named Mrs. Mahoney is registered there. Puzzled, he begins to suspect a setup and wonders if Lois deliberately misled him. Realizing he may have been double-crossed, he rushes back to the office. The editor erupts in anger, calling him a fool for missing the biggest story in months and wasting time at a hospital. He adds that the last train to Valleyho has already left and fires Clark, but Kent isn't deterred. Alone, he removes his street clothes to reveal the Superman costume underneath, planning to go get that story. From the roof of the Daily Star, Superman launches into the night, covering vast distances with powerful leaps. Spotting a train bound for Valleyho, he races alongside it and prepares to intercept. Matching its speed, he overtakes it, determined not to let Lois scoop him on the story. With incredible swiftness, he reaches a railroad trestle, only to find the bridge ahead compromised. A torrent has weakened its supports, making a derailment inevitable. As the train draws closer, Superman springs into action. Superman grips the supports and presses upward, leveling the tracks just in time. As the train rumbles across, he holds the bridge steady, preventing disaster. Once the final car clears, he allows the weakened structure to collapse behind it. Lois, riding among the passengers, reacts with shock as she peers out the window and realizes the bridge has given way. At the next junction, a railway official gives urgent orders to alert others, ensuring that no more trains head toward the ruined bridge. When the train arrives in Valleyho, Lois pushes her way through a crowd of fleeing townspeople at the station. She flags down a taxi, but the driver, eager to leave town, offers her the car instead of a ride. Taking control, Lois speeds off toward the dam herself. Meanwhile, atop the dam, Superman struggles to reinforce the structure, desperately trying to prevent its collapse under mounting pressure. Holding his position against the force of the water, he just needs to endure a bit longer to give most of the nearby residents time to evacuate safely. As Superman braces himself against the dam, he realizes it's beginning to give way. The structure suddenly collapses with a tremendous roar, unleashing a massive surge of water. He leaps into the air to avoid the flood's fury. But Lois, racing in the taxi, is caught directly in its path. She changes the color of the taxi and tries driving from the passenger side riding board to get a better view. But she sees the danger too late and cries out, "The dam's gone! I haven't a chance!" Spotting her vehicle from a distance, Superman identifies it and rushes to help. However, before he can reach her, the car is swept up by the floodwaters. Lois, now back inside the original colored taxi, is trapped as the torrent carries the car downstream, leaving her in mortal danger. Superman reaches the submerged car and rips it open, pulling Lois to safety and swimming her to shore. He dashes off at lightning speed, racing ahead of the flood. He overtakes the wall of water and presses forward, determined to stop it. Springing to a high rock formation, he sets her down and launches to an even higher peak. With tremendous force, he pushes against a massive outcrop. The resulting rock slide seals off the mountain gap, diverting the torrent away from Valleyho and saving the town from destruction. With the flood diverted, Superman breathes a sigh of relief, having narrowly succeeded. Lois, overwhelmed with gratitude, rushes to him and kisses him. Then, sweeping her into his arms, he leaps through the air, determined to carry her to safety. As they bound through the air, Lois confesses she was once afraid of him, but now realizes she loves him. When they reach Valleyho, she pleads with him not to go, but Superman says they perhaps will meet again. Later, Clark Kent phones in his story and asks to be rehired. Outside the booth, Lois coldly dismisses him, calling Clark a spineless worm, saying she can barely look at him after being in the arms of Superman.